Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and thank you for joining me as we go over episode 27 of Yugioh Sevens, the anime series. An episode that was all types of crazy. However, that being said, I still thought this was a well written episode showcasing just how much Rook cares about rush dueling. As the first half of the episode show offs a lot of goofiness from Rook's character, giving us a great showcasing of his over-the-top inflated ego, in starting up his own club known as Rooks Club, basically making everyone duel and spread the word of rush dueling while he sits in his throne looking down on his club members / subjects. Now this obviously was in his mind and his idea of what was going to happen, but this unfortunately did not come to fruition, even though he went to all sorts of clubs trying to persuade them to join his club. And this is where Rook's passion for rush dueling really shines through in this episode, as he's literally explaining the bonds and support that he receives from his dueling monsters, basically to non-duelist characters, while showcasing that emotion and that passion and that drive that he has. Now this I thought was really good and very to Rook's character, as his character wants to be the king of duels. He wants to spread the knowledge and the excitement of rush duels around. We know this from previous episodes, and this worked really well in just showing that in a nice little neat parcel. Now then, the second half of the episode was quite interesting in a different way, as we get a duel between Rook versus Rook. However, this other Rook acted and gave off a more darker and more serious tone to the character itself, leading me to think that this could be the show hinting at a personality change for Rook's character. And if this entity in fact does return again, I wouldn't be at all surprised. After all, we get that one line that stood out to me the most out of that conversation between Rook and other Rook, in where he stated that whoever wins will remain. This line gave me serious Ichigo versus Zangetsu vibes from Bleach, the anime series, and of course the manga as well if you've seen that series. So maybe, just maybe, this evil alter ego of Rook's ego and pride could be a thing that returns in the future, similar to maybe a berserk mode. And if they gave this to Rook's character instead of the protagonist, I would not be surprised, as Rook's character does seem to be more of a prideful character when looking at the other characters within the show. Yes, the other characters do have their own sense of pride, but Rook, he has that overflated ego, and he has a lot of pride, and of course that desire to become the king of duels, always maybe being overshadowed by the main protagonist. So seeing that evil kind of personality switch and alter ego kind of thing creeping in, maybe, just maybe, could fit the character really well. His new ace monster looks fantastic and has a really fabulous design. Really powerful effect, but basically drops all opposing level 7 and lower monsters of your opponent attack power by 1500 after discarding a level 7 or higher dragon type monster from your hand into your graveyard. Plus this card also sticks with the theme of double attack in Rook's deck. Really a good solid upgrade from Dragears. And that's what this card is. It looks and acts like an upgraded version of Rook's current ace monster, which is something that I really like, as it adds and opens the door for other characters to get this treatment in having the ace monsters stay the same but have an upgraded form, and this I really do like. Now I want to go back to the start of the episode where we get a really awesome piece of interaction between Neil and Gohar, as Neil looks to be returning acting rather calm, collective, and sure that he'll be able to dispel any allegations made against him. But then Mr. Gohar finally breaks his silence, which I think is very fitting for the events that have just unfolded. He makes his views on rush dueling very much known in this episode, that he wants to crush and completely erase rush duels, which makes sense because the idea of Mr. Gohar finally speaking and breaking his silence and not laughing in this episode tells a very big story. It makes me think that Mr. Gohar is now feeling pressured by rush dueling. Mr. Gohar has seen the after effects of the duel between Neil and Yugioh, where 77.7% of the public or kids in the Gohar Elementary School were on board with Team Yugioh. This means that they were for rush dueling when Mr. Gohar is against rush dueling, meaning that he probably feels like his grip on society is slowly but surely being taken away from him. And with a character like Mr. Gohar, who runs the city with a very iron fist and a well-established law, this could be a crushing blow towards him. So that's why he decided to speak up now and is making his points of view known. Finally breaking that silence and finally making his team seem a bit more threatening, a bit more viable, and showcasing just how ruthless he can certainly be in future episodes. This I really liked because I might just be speculating here, and I am, but at the same time, I think there is something more to the fact that he has now broken that silence. Plus, we get this really small but great scene with Mimi looking very displeased with the other members of Top of Hexagon, as it's a very quick but subtle detail of Mimi's face showing that distaste towards the points of views that the other members are bringing up. But again, this was great because it shows the rift between herself and the others still is very much present within the series. So I'm glad they kept that plot point alive and still making Mimi seem relevant, even if she's not talking. Overall, I thought this was a really good episode that offered a lot more detail and explanation to different characters and different events. Plus, there's lots of details that can be expanded on in the future that obviously we can look back on in future episodes and go, oh, that was foreshadowed in this episode, which I think is really interesting. Again, I've already said the idea about Rook's new ace monster being an upgraded version of Dragears is really cool because, again, it opens up the door for other characters to improve their ace monsters. And please, please give us a better Sevens Road Magician. Fix that horrible design. Now, I want to know what Mr. Gohar is going to be doing soon, because again, like I said, he's just broken that silence, so it means he's now willing to take action, because Rush Duels has made him do so. So, if you have any ideas of what you think Mr. Gohar is going to do next, then let me know in the comment section down below. But the next episode preview looks to be very appetizing, as it looks like we're going to Duel Camp, basically a training episode, which would be pretty cool, as talks about a tournament arc has been mentioned and floating about on the internet, which if that is the route that they go down, that's got me very excited, because we can see some very unique matchups between different characters, and I personally would love to see Roman versus Mimi. Don't know how that'll work from a story plot point of view, but I think that'll be an awesome duel to have, because I think that would go very good in terms of dynamic. So let me know which matchup you want to see in the future down in the comment section below. But yeah, good episode, and this episode was really saved by the emotion and passion that Rook displayed. The comedy wasn't that great. I liked Kaido's kind of jabs at Rook, that was quite funny. But the fact that Mr. Gohar finally talked, and the fact that Rook showed a lot of passion and a lot of emotion, that is what made the episode good for me. It made it from a meh episode to a good episode. So, those are my thoughts. That's what I've got to say. If you have anything else to add, again, let me know in the comment section down below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. And, as always, have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.